Welcome to another YouTube video. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 12 programming project ideas. And the setup of this video is going to be, I'm going to show you 4 beginner projects, 4 intermediate projects, and 4 advanced projects. And the goal of this is to hopefully have something for anyone who is watching this video and something that can inspire you, that can make you start new projects, and that can just get you on the right path. So that's it for the intro, and now let's get to the video. The first one I have for you is a password generator, or can also be called a password validator. Now, what do I mean by this? I mean you should create a project that can generate a custom password for someone, or it can check if a password meets certain requirements, so like a validation. A very good example for this is if you want to create a new account in the website. The website asks you for a username and then it also asks for a password. And you will always notice that this password has some requirements like capital letter, small letter, some special characters, and all that good stuff. And you can even play with it and add some stupid stuff to it too. Like, I don't know, it must start with an A, it must have some certain characters. Yeah, that's the whole point of it, that you go through this and you actually immerse yourself in the project and understand it and really put your heart into it. So definitely this password generator or validator is a great idea and a very good beginner's project. So the next one I have for you is a little bit advanced. It's Tic-Tac-Toe, but I call it X's and O. And why this is such a good project it is that it is very visual, and I think that's a very good way to also see your program in action, because when you create something visual, it really gets you and you also really feel accomplished more than maybe something that is just text based. So an idea of how to do this, just a real quick one, is that you print out a board in the console. So you can do that in different ways. If you're using Pygame, you could do that by just drawing it out and all that good stuff. And you can also use the pipe or the dash to create a sample board. And then we add the logic part where we have to check if someone has actually won the game. And it is straightforward. Don't get scared and all that. It's a great project for beginners and it's really good because I love building games. I love playing games and actually building them. A little bit why I went into programming actually. So yeah, check that out. Now the next one I'm going to recommend is you creating a basic website. And don't get scared. This is quite, that's why I put basic in it. You don't have to make it all advanced and all, just a basic website. And why I like recommending building a basic website is that when you're getting into programming, it's very visual and you don't need to do anything crazy on the back end. And it's really great because when you're getting into programming, it's really nice to do a lot of visual stuff. That's why I want you to do a lot of visual beginners programs, because when you're getting into it, it's nice to see what you're doing visually and really experience it in a like more three-dimensional way. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, I think you understand what I mean by that. And you know what? You could even try building something like a portfolio website, because as a beginner, you will for sure need that. So that would be a nice project that you would actually probably use later when you add some backend to it. And why this is great too is that it will also let you learn about web development, and also it's going to be an introduction into that path. And what I recommend for beginners if they really want to create a basic website is I have two recommendations. You can use HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, or you can also use Flask. And this will just be able to boot you up a super simple backend and front end. Now, the next project idea I have is something that I personally really like, and it's called web scraping. What web scraping is basically you grabbing information from a website, putting it into your computer locally, and being able to work on that data and use it for other stuff, or actually just save that data. And of course, web scraping is a little bit advanced, but that's the whole idea. It's not you doing something that won't challenge you. It's about you doing stuff that will also give you that insight and give you that understanding of programming in general. And yeah, web scraping is really great. And a good example of web scraping is scraping Amazon prices, or also looking for good deals on like eBay or Alibaba. You could also set it to give you a notification whenever a price drops or whenever a price increases. And this is super simple stuff. It's not hard to do. It will take some time, but it also will make you a better programmer and it will make you learn more and have those insights, which are really important when you want to become a developer. So the two modules that I feel you should know about when you want to get into web scraping is Beautiful Soup, which is more of a Python module, and Selenium. Now let's get into the intermediate project. But before we start, I just want to make sure that you understand that it's really hard to categorize a project into hard or medium or very hard or easy. So at the end, what it will depend on is you and also how much work you're going to put into it, how much research you're going to put into this project, and also just your overall understanding of programming at that stage because I can't really gauge what stage you are at. So at the end, I just wanted to make that really clear. And yeah, let's get into the intermediate projects. Now, this is something I love. I love playing them. I love making them. And this is creating 2D games. I will be making some 2D games in this channel. So if you're new to this channel, subscribe to the channel, like the vid and all that good stuff. But yeah, I will be creating some 2D games because I want to put that here and also just to help the community and all that. But yeah, let's get to it. Creating some kind of 2D game can be anything. You know, The Legend of Zelda, you could make something similar to that. And what I find about this project is that a lot of people have passion for stuff like this. Maybe because as a kid we played a lot of 2D games, but I noticed that a lot of people love doing them. You get this kind of pleasure when you actually finish them and actually play the game yourself. So that's why I feel this is a really nice intermediate project, creating a nice 2D game. And I just want to give some mentions for 2D games like Tetris, it could be Space Invaders, it could be Zelda. A great module for making these 2D games is Pygame. Like, what's nice is you can use JavaScript to create a web-based 2D game and actually play with your friends online. And it's really nice this coronavirus time where we can actually meet people. You can create them and play with them online. It's really nice. You can add some Node.js to that. And yeah, just understand that most of these things you will have to research them. You don't have to understand them at the moment. And when you're going through these projects, you can't expect yourself to understand everything. Just have a nice blueprint. And whenever you don't understand what you need to do next, use Google. Google is your friend. It will help you a lot. And yeah, that's what everyone does. That's what the best programmer does. They know how to search stuff. And the next one is for people who are interested in computer software and also computer hardware, because I feel that is also a nice path to go into, and it just makes you a better programmer. And this is related to working with some project that is related to Raspberry Pi or Arduino or a microcontroller, basically. And why these are so cool is that they allow you to connect your software with your hardware, which is something that I feel is mind blowing and also just it really makes you see the both sides of those and how they interact and how to use them. And what I also like them is that they help you also with assembly code. And you might be like, oh, what is assembly code? But assembly code is just a really low level programming language. And why assembly code is good is that it helps you understand memory more. And yeah, that's why I put this in as intermediate because it does involve a little bit more low level stuff, but at the end, believe me, you become a better programmer understanding things like this. And the components that come with a Raspberry Pi is that some come with a camera, but most come with a USB port, and also they have these GPIO pins. And these GPIO pins allow you to control the output that are coming from these pins to other components. You could use this with a sensor, of course, to actually check how much water your plant is absorbing every day and how much water it actually needs and all that stuff. So this is really nice thing to do with it. You could also use it for an alarm sensor, like some Raspberry Pi that come with a camera. You could use them for an internal alarm system. And this is really nice projects that I feel as an intermediate developer would go well in your portfolio and also help you also understand this other dimension of programming, which is dealing with software and also dealing with hardware. Now, the next project idea is a Sudoku solver. If you don't know about the Sudoku game, check it on Google, but I'll just explain it real quick. Having a box of nine, and there are nine boxes of those nine boxes. I know this is getting complicated, but you should know Sudoku, and you basically fill them out. And this is a really nice beginner's project. There's a lot of logic involved in that, and as I say a lot in this project, it is very visual, which is really important. Or you can also connect it to some kind of AI that actually solves the Sudoku for you. And you give it different Sudoku problems and it will solve them for you. So this is a really nice project idea and it's really great on CV. And the next one is something that I'm sure you've seen a lot on YouTube. And yeah, this is an algorithm visualizer. So this is you creating a certain kind of algorithm and then you show a visual representation of how that algorithm actually solves problems. Or you could pick something like a sorting algorithm or a searching algorithm or a bisection search algorithm. And then you create a visual representation of how this algorithm works. And this is a great project. It's fun, it's super cool, it's super visual, and it's great on your CV. And that I'm sure you're noticing this. I'm giving you projects that actually will look good on your CV. So you doing this is not just doing it for, oh, you want to do this. It's also something that will help you out, that you'll be able to talk about when you're in your interviews. And yeah, that's the whole purpose of this. And of course, please do leave a comment down below if you have any other projects that you feel should have made this list, or if you have any questions. Now let's dive into the advanced projects. I'm going to go through this very quickly, and these are just few ideas that I have off the top of my head. And these are really nice projects. They're really cool things to work on. And yeah, let's get into them. So the first advanced project I have for you is actually you creating your own programming language, or you create an interpreter for an existing programming language. And the next idea for advanced projects is actually doing something that relates to machine learning and artificial intelligence. And ideas of this is if you already have a game, actually putting some AI or adding some AI functionality into that game, the chess game that you already have developed, actually using an AI to actually play that game against yourself. So this is a really nice way to understand advanced concepts in programming. It's a nice way to also delve into a little bit to touch the water on machine learning and artificial intelligence too. The next one is actually having a security system with Raspberry Pi. I know we have talked about Raspberry Pi. So actually having a security system that is having an alarm or something that triggers, and then having a security system that takes care of that trigger, that would be a really nice project to have. It's really nice. It is a little bit advanced. That's why it's on the advanced projects section. But yeah, it is something to delve into and actually, you know, I just want to make this clear. All these projects, you won't know everything about them, but that's why you have the internet for you, because you can go, you can search stuff, you can look up stuff, you can ask people who you know they're experts in those subjects, and they'll help you out for sure. Now, the final one is actually creating your own API or creating your own web service. This is something a lot of software engineers need to do in a working environment. And to design an API, if you do it well, is not easy. So this is something that will take time, and it's also a really advanced topic. So that's why I put it in this short list. So you can create that API and then you can connect it to different applications. And this allows you to have data shared in one main area. So this is a really nice project, a really cool project. And that for sure means you have to hook it up with a database. And this also means hosting it on the cloud. And you also have to get some domain associated with it. It's a lot of cool stuff, a lot of interesting stuff. And yeah, I wish you all the best of luck when you're going through all these projects. So anyways, that has been this video. And I hope at minimum this gave you some inspiration, gave you some ideas, and definitely let me know about the projects you liked in this video or anything you think I forgot or that should have been mentioned. And that's it. Make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in another YouTube video.